Thanks, Ronnie. Once again, I started with the thing on mute. Welcome to the show. Let's start again. Um, what to do when you feel like quitting? Because same, got the message. Thanks, guys. So, when you feel like quitting, make sure your audio is on. First things first. We've all had them. Had a week like that. Kind of felt like it. Feel like quitting. So, what do you do when you have that? Because we all do. There's times when we do. Work, personal, things going on. Life happens. So, how do we go about it? How do we deal with it? Well, comes into got a couple things going on here. I got a lot of notes and I got a lot of pictures stuff to present tonight. So it's going to be a bit of bouncing around. So, first things first, when you feel like quitting, remember this: when you quit, the only thing you do is give up on yourself. So that's who you have to look in the mirror, and that's who you have to face is yourself. Are you good with that? Ask yourself that question. Uh, you know, I personally have a hard time looking at myself when I quit. Uh, Beat myself up pretty good. I don't like to. I don't like to think of myself as a quitter. We all feel like it. Going to get by it. Life goes on. So, first things first, be a doer. Don't be a talker. When you feel like quitting, action. One foot in front of the other. Go out the door and go. So my mornings when I go for my walks, there's days I sure don't feel like it. I had a few of them this week. Go out the door, close it, and lock it. Put one foot in front of the other and take a step. Take another step. Sometimes the motivation comes from actually doing something. So if you can't talk yourself into doing it, just start doing it. And sometimes you'll find the motivation in actually doing it. You know, one thing to remember is life goes on. We all make mistakes. So what? Get over it. Move on. Mistakes are lessons. Learn from them. Is one thing to remember. Gonna make them. Shit happens. Carry on. Who cares? So I'm gonna do a present here on share the screen on this one. And so, as you guys know, I drove truck for a long time. And there's times I felt like quitting and times I'd gone on. If I'd have quit early on, I'd have never got where I got. I would have never accomplished what I accomplished. So think about this. I grew up in an itty bitty tiny little town in Saskatchewan. There's less than 1,000 people in that town. You'd think, what is a kid from a town that small ever going to see or ever going to accomplish? Well, in 30 years of driving a truck, I was in every state, every province, and every territory in North America. What are the odds of that? A kid from a town of 900 people literally being everywhere. If I'd have quit, I'd have never accomplished that. So, might not be much of a wonderful accomplishment, but it's pretty cool when you think about it. So basically, if you're watching this and you're in North America, at some point in time in the last 50 years, the odds are pretty, or last 30 years, the odds are pretty good I've been within 50 miles of you because I've been everywhere in North America. Kind of strange when you think about it. You know, the whole 6 degrees of separation thing. But I quit, that would have never happened. I wouldn't have seen all those places. Like I said, grew up in a little town. I grew up on a farm. We were poor. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything. We didn't have the money. You know, we went to the lake nearby, went camping, went fishing, that sort of stuff. But, you know, I've been downtown Manhattan, downtown New York, like New York City, downtown Toronto, Montreal, all these places. Would have never, you know, Houston, Chicago, LA, every one of them, every big city in North America I've been to, drove to them all. Would have never done that if I'd have quit. So Sometimes you just have to persevere even when you don't feel like it. And I mean, I grew up in the prairies in Saskatchewan, like I said. So naturally driving truck, I started out hauling grain, fertilizer, because that's where I grew up. So what we did, we grew crops and we grew livestock. That's what we did. Started out doing that, but that's not where I finished. And it's because I wanted to do more. Um, so there's something when you want to quit. Go be the best you can be at whatever it is. Doesn't mean you're going to be better than everybody else. Doesn't mean you're going to be the best there is in the world at it. Be the best that you can possibly be and be proud of that when you accomplish it. I started out hauling grain and fertilizer. Grain is like this big. In the end, I was hauling some of the biggest equipment. Actually, I was hauling the biggest equipment in the world. I've been on, if I remember right, it's 28 different episodes of Discovery Channel. Never featured or anything like that. I'm not, big or famous or nothing like that. But I've been in Highway to Hell, Highway Through Hell, Ice Road Truckers, License to Drill. I'm in the background of all of those because I did really neat things. Because I set out to be the best I could possibly be at what I did. So Discovery Channel was filming, moving the new 930 rock truck when it was very first built. I was there when they were filming, and there's a scene in that episode, I don't remember which one it is, of me pulling out of the factory with a piece of that equipment on. Kid from a town of 900 people. Good thing I didn't quit. I got to do something pretty neat. Like I said, not famous. Nobody really cares, but it's kind of cool. So I decided, I was living life, was doing fairly well for myself at the time. Decided to do something fun. Built a fast motorcycle. And decided, let's go race the damn thing. So, yeah. Steph used to drive the 930, he says. Yeah, it is a big ass machine. What is it that thing hauls? Is it 475 tons? Something like that at once. That's a lot of dirt. Thing moves a lot of ground. Not to mention I've hauled the machines that load those machines, and got some pictures of some of that stuff I'm going to show here in a little bit. Some pretty neat stats, but we'll get to that. So I started out, like I said, built a fast motorcycle, went racing, having fun. So let's do a screen share. What was the thing that I did? Let's do that. So this is me after first of all, we broke the frame, so we had to reconstruct it, cut the whole back end out and reconstructed it. And I built that, raced that for 9 years. First year we sucked. We broke everything everywhere we went. We didn't win anything. It was fun, but it was expensive and things broke. By year 3, we were in top 3 in the country, consistently. On the 4th year, we won 5 out of 9 national events because we wouldn't quit. We didn't do it with money because they didn't have a lot. Did it by learning because I wouldn't quit. Kept pushing through. So when you refuse to quit and you're willing to learn and you're willing to work at it, you'll get to the other side. Might not be the ultimate pinnacle, the other side, but it'll be your other side. But you're not going to get there if you quit. So remember that. Winners never quit. They get back up after they've been knocked down and go again. So what is going on here? Oh, there we go. So, like I said, that was fun. Had a blast doing that. In fact, that thing is actually still on my wall downstairs. It's my shop ornament. If you've watched any of my tearing the street bike apart and that sort of stuff videos, you'll see that thing in the background. So Uh, After that, I decided it was time to get bigger and a little more serious about business. And that's when I started hauling some of the big stuff where I was on the different TV shows and whatnot. Um, so a good one of refusing to quit was this particular incident. This was no fun. So if I'd have quit, this thing would have ended up on its side. You can't really tell very much in the picture, but the camera's actually taken horizontally when this picture was taken. This thing is leaning over and it's about to fall. In the angle, you can't see it, but I could actually put my hands underneath the tires on this side of the trailer. If we follow along, I don't know if my mouse shows on the screen here or not. I hope it does, but along the tracks here from the mud flap of the truck, the driver's side, this is where I was driving. I had to make this right-hand corner. I was really, really long. The road started to give way. So even though I was driving straight, the trailer started drifting off to the side, which is why it was over and leaning, and the tires are over here on this side, sunk right in, because the road actually started giving way on us. So the thing damn near fell over. We ran over, got ourselves a dozer that was close by with a winch on, had him come in and hook up to us so that it wouldn't fall over the rest of the way. And he kept tension on and pulled me back towards the road so we could make the corner, make that swing. This thing was 16 something high. It's a rev deck off of a shovel. Very top heavy. It wobbled all the way down the road. But that's a prime incident. Had I have quit, or had I have just stopped, not sprung into action and done something, it would have fallen over. It's that never quit attitude that kept me going to keep that from happening. Did all kinds of neat stuff with that. Like you talked about, Steph, the 930 is a big ass truck, hauls a lot of dirt. I got good at what I did and developed a reputation. So because of that, I moved a lot of neat stuff. Was moving some shovel parts for the Bucyrus shovels, which they weigh 2.2 million pounds, is how big those machines are. And I was moving buckets for them. And they were designing a new one, a prototype. There was some kind of a theory with it. I can't remember all the stuff behind it, all the details of it. But I was downloading another one while they were building this one. And the guy that ran the plant there asked me, he says, how are we going to get this thing on a trailer and get it out of the building? Because normal shovel was a box and square. And it just sat on the trailer. It was a box. This one was built, there was some kind of an idea behind it that it was going to flow more, which is going to make it more efficient, which when you're moving that much product at a time, as efficient as it can be is better. But this whole thing was built on an angle. And we sat there and kind of measured everything. It wasn't even put together yet, trying to figure it out because it didn't look like it was going to get out of the building the way that it was proportioned. It was going to be difficult. So when they finally got the thing done, Torsten actually specifically hired me to come and move this thing because I had seen it, because we'd looked at it, we figured it out. I told him, I'm pretty sure it'll come out of the building. It's going to be tight, only be by a couple of inches. We'll have to load it so that it's kind of canted and sitting on the trailer somewhat crooked, because if we leave it sit flat, it wasn't going to work. The dimensions didn't fit. They're going to end up having to cut the door. So we got down there and put it on. I've got some pictures of that one. I got a series of pictures. I don't know how quickly I can run through these, but that was kind of a neat project to be a part of. Window. Where do we go down? So this is it. This is me coming out of the building with this thing, prototype. I cleared the door by 1.5 inches on the top on this side in order to get out. So we had to support it a little bit higher on this side because, like I said, as you can see, this one's not square. I had to support it a little bit on this side to sort of kick the angle up to make it come out, but not too much so that it wouldn't fit out the door because this thing was freaking huge. They weigh 120,000 pounds, these buckets. No teeth on them, no door, no nothing, just the shell. So get to the next one here. The next picture. This is kind of neat. So we got it out that side, and we come out the other side, and I cleared that side of the door by, you can't really see it because we kind of stopped bit by bit, measuring, checking out as we went. Came out the other side, cleared it by 2 inches. So when it came out of the door, it cleared by 1.5 inches up here on the top lug on this side up here, and cleared by 2 inches on this side coming out the door. That was all the room we had to get that thing out. And like I said, as you can see, it's not square. So it was all kinds of fun. But that's what happens when you don't quit. You get good at something eventually, and people ask you to do some neat things. You get to be part of some neat projects then. So that's some of my fun from the past. Anyhow, I'll drop that there. How you doing? So anyhow, that part of life is over. It's changed for me. I can't do it anymore. I had a medical incident start about a year and a half ago. I can't pass medical. I can't drive anymore. So I got to find something new. It's kind of difficult when you go from being very good at something where people ask you to do things all the time because you're really good at it to having that taken away from you. So I'm working on developing something new. And it's tough because I'm not as good at it as I used to be. I'm a rank rookie at best, trying to learn something. So it's easy some days to feel like I'm not good at it. Screw it. I'm going to walk away, give up, do something different. But you can't do that. Because if you quit, you'll never get good at it. And that's something I've been struggling with. But like as an entrepreneur, as a guy, you're generally going to crash because you don't slow down. So you have to do that every now and then. You got to remind yourself, you're human. You're going to get tired. You're going to burn out. So don't forget to take your times, take a break, relax, recharge yourself. That's where I take off on the motorcycle and go to the mountains and go for a hike and spend some time with the dog and recharge my mind. So it's like working out, going to the gym. If you don't take rest days, you're going to eventually break down. Even bodybuilders, they take rest days, have to. And part of taking your rest days and recharging is you'll be able to see your blind spots. Or you'll need friends who will help you point them out. Because if you don't, you're going to be too focused and you're going to miss it. It happens. So I've dropped the join link if anybody wants to pop in and have a chat about it. It's been some of those days. I'll go back through some of these notes here. What have I got? Where am I? I'm lost. So anyhow, it's that, yeah. Take at least a day, at least one day a week or something like that, or several hours anyways. Recharge yourself. Largely, this is mine. And there's days I think about quitting this too, because it's a slow build. And it just is what it is. But I know it's going to be slow. I know it's going to take some time. And the reason I did all of this, and the reason I started this, I have to remind myself on a constant basis, is I don't have kids. I don't have a family. I've got nobody to pass on the knowledge that I've learned. Because I sacrificed a lot to get where I am in life, worked my ass off. And I've got nobody to give it to or to leave it to. So that's why I started this, to share what I've learned. Hopefully save some of you some of the mistakes that I've made and shortcut life a little bit, get ahead a little bit more, because it's tough, but you have to do the work. It's hard work, and it takes dedication. And there's going to be lots of days that you're going to feel like quitting. But the difference between quitting and between winners and losers is winners get up one more time after getting knocked back down. You're going to get knocked down. It's just part of life. Part of being old, you got to put the glasses on so you can read. What do we got for comments here? This is the other part. I can't read for crap, so I got to put these on and zoom right in. Getting old sucks. So, a Monday morning motivation by Kevin Hart. Everybody knows who he is. He's a famous comedian now. I remember years ago, actually, listening to talk radio shows and whatnot, Kevin coming on before he was famous and anybody really knew him. He was an interesting guy. Kind of lives by the same stuff now as he did back then. The Monday morning motivation is, like he says, be a doer, don't be a talker. Hard work brings great results. And he did. He worked his butt off. When he would come in and talk on a couple of the radio shows that I listened to, that they had him on all the time, that guy was out working every day of the week. He was every night he was practicing at some improv somewhere or something, learning his craft, becoming better. And that's why he's gone on to be great, because he didn't quit. I remember early on when he first started, I believe it was the Opie and Anthony show he was on, and he was talking about one of his very first times getting up on stage. And literally, it was amateur night, and amateur night, he got booed off the stage. But it didn't matter. He refused to quit, and he kept going. Would have been pretty easy at that point on amateur night to get booed off the stage to quit. We'd never known who he was. That's what happens when you don't quit. When you work hard, you get those kind of results. So, this is what he said. And he actually said this way back then as well. I had a friend help me put some of these notes together, and he pointed this out. Kevin Hart says you have to see yourself as invincible. And he did back then when he got booed off the stage. It was kind of funny because it was one of the things that he actually said. I distinctly remember that. It doesn't matter that I got booed off the stage. I'm going to keep working at it, so I'm not going to give up. He says, I'm not going to quit. He says, I'm invincible. I'm going to get there eventually, one way or another. And he did. So it's kind of funny to see that put together now when I remember hearing that like 15 years ago or something like that. Long time ago. It's pretty cool. You can't escape life's lessons and mistakes. You're going to make them. Learn from them. Pay attention and learn from other people's as well. So if you want to learn from some of mine, because I made a lot of them, listen up. I'll tell you about a lot of them. The Uncle Bentley Show. Because I've made a lot of mistakes. The big stuff that I hold. You don't move stuff that big and not have incidents. It happens. I've bumped into things here and there along the way. I drove over 3 million miles. I didn't do that without having an incident here and there. Now, I did 2 stretches where I did 1 million consecutive miles without an incident. That's a pretty cool record to be proud of. Some things happened along the way, but I had 2 stretches where I did that. But I learned from them. Each one of them I learned lessons on and got better at it. Got better at what I did. You're going to make them. We all make mistakes. It is what it is. Be a man, own up to them. Nobody is perfect, so nobody expects you to be. Even though you expect yourself to be, understand that you're not. You're not going to be. Shit's going to happen. I know. Yeah. A lot of stories on that. Anyhow. I don't know if anybody's got anything you want to come in and chat about. That's. Oh, Where is that one? Yeah. Mistake's my middle name. I'm pretty sure it's mine too. that's just a part of life. You scroll through pretty quick sometimes. Anyhow, so some other things in here. It's impossible not to go 200, or it's impossible to go 200 miles an hour and not crash. Well, don't crash. I know guys have gone 200 miles an hour. I've gone close. I've done 190 some miles an hour on dragsters, and not crashed, thank God, because that's fast. When you crash at those speeds, it's bad. But that's where you got to work yourself up to it. Pay attention, work hard, develop your skills, and you'll be able to do it. You're not going to get there the first day. So there's the thing to think about with that. I guess that's kind of what this is all about when you don't quit. Not quitting is the key to success. Because along the way, you're going to learn things and you're going to get better at it. You can't go 200 miles an hour the first day. The first dragster I built could never go 200 miles an hour. The second one wasn't mine. It was a friend of mine. I helped him build that. It went pretty close. It was about 170, 180 miles an hour. The third one that I helped build, that one broke 200 miles an hour. That's what happens when you don't quit. You learn things, you get better, and you do better. So, in all reality, quitting is failure. If you accept it, that's what it is. So don't quit. Keep pushing forward, and you'll succeed. It'll be different for everybody. You'll define your own. But if you quit, you'll never get to success. And that's where we all want to get to. So I guess that's the lesson in tonight. Don't quit. And that is success in its own self. That's what I've got for notes here tonight. I don't know if anybody wants to jump in and chat. Steph, 308 kilometers an hour. That's damn near 200. Was it 319.8? I think it is. 319.8 kilometers an hour is 200 miles an hour, if I remember right, is the conversion. Something like that. Pretty close. So I've cracked 300 kilometers an hour myself. I haven't done 200 miles an hour, but I have broke 200 feet in depth scuba diving. I did that. That's pretty cool. That's a long ways down. So just checking through the comments here. There you go. So lots of us have come close to 200 miles an hour. There we go. JR, 185. That's fast. There's no two ways about it. That is fast. Life happens quickly at those speeds. You certainly can't quit when you're going that fast. Don't drink too fast. You'll make a mess. Anyhow, like you say, I kind of had that out there for the calls. Not really getting anything tonight. That's what I got for notes. Then you're insane. You still had room for acceleration at 308 kilometers an hour is what it was? Where was it? That's a ways back. You guys are chatty tonight. How do we dig ourselves out of wanting to throw in the towel? I don't have all the answers, man. I really don't. Everybody has their own methods. So personally, I'm very, very hard on myself. And most of us usually are. We're usually our own worst critic. When I quit, when I know I didn't give 100%, I have a very hard time looking at myself in the mirror. At the end of the day, we're all capable of quitting without people really knowing. But you know. So when you're thinking about it, ask yourself that question. If I quit, if I throw in the towel, I say this is good enough. When I go to shave in the morning, or I don't brush my teeth, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, am I going to be able to look myself in the eyes? Am I going to be able to respect myself? And if you really want to be honest with yourself, when you're with your family and the people who are important to you, Chris and I are friends. I know he has a son. When you look your son in the eye, are you going to be able to respect yourself? Because that's even harder than looking yourself in the eye. That is all the motivation you should ever need to not throw in the towel on anything. Because that fight is always worth it. I don't have to tell you that. You know that. Some other ones are you set your goals. I mean, decide you're not going to quit until you get them. It's kind of one of those, what is the attitude? I'm going to get there or I'm going to die trying. Sometimes we push ourselves too hard. Take a break and rest if you need it. But set your mind to a goal and accomplish it. Whatever that is. It's different for everybody. You know, what my ultimate pinnacle of success is not going to be what yours is. Excuse me. What yours is not going to be what mine is. We each have to define our own. And no matter what anybody tells you, that's their opinion, not yours. The only one that actually really matters is yours. You get to define it. You can take influence. We all should have mentors, people that we talk to, look up to, that will help us define these things. But ultimately, it's something that you have to define for yourself. And nobody else can for you. Some other tips. Just trying to think. When you think you've accomplished everything that you can, stand back for a minute. Enjoy what you've done. Compliment yourself and appreciate what you've accomplished, because most of us don't. Back when I was racing, I never took the time to congratulate myself with what I accomplished. I always wanted more. I never achieved the actual ultimate success when I was racing that I wanted to. But I achieved more than I ever thought I could or would. When I was 15 years old, if you'd have told me that, you're going to build a dragster, you're going to go race on a national circuit, you're going to win national events. I led the national championships points from the beginning of the season until the final round of the final event for the season, and I lost. That was my ultimate goal, was winning that national championship, and I never did. But I led wire, damn near to wire. That's an accomplishment. I didn't think it was at the time. I felt like a failure because I didn't reach the goal that I wanted to. At the end of the day, I grew up on a farm with nothing, dirt poor, built all this on my own, with my own money. I did it by learning, because I didn't have the best of parts. I didn't have the best of equipment. I did it with perseverance and knowledge. And I accomplished something that I never thought in 1,000 years I would have ever done. Would have liked to have had more, but I did more than I ever thought I could. So I guess that's the tip, is keep going, because you'll never, ever truly know what you can accomplish unless you give it your absolute all. And when you do, you're probably going to accomplish more than you ever thought you could. So, how's it going, Chris?
Hi, how are you doing, brother?
Good.
Right on, right on. How was your day?
Today was okay. Today was better than yesterday.
It's the main thing. You didn't quit.
How about
right?
yourself? That's
Today
right.
was better than the past
I didn't
few.
quit.
Yeah, exactly, brother. Just yeah, tough couple days, and yeah, felt like throwing the towel in on everything, including life. But like you say, you don't, right? You just keep doing it, and tomorrow's another day. You know. But
Yes.
yeah, it was. Yeah, you got to kind of put in the work. Like I going to be doing some more work to fix some negative self-talk, and yeah, just keep doing the work and keep plugging away, man. But yeah, you know, you think that you're alone in the world, and you think that you know you're the only one who does stupid shit, and you realize everybody's just as messed up as you, and it's kind of freeing when you find that out. Like I won't divulge too much detail, but I found out somebody that I hold in very high esteem uh, has been struggling pretty hardcore.
Yep.
We had a pretty good chat tonight. And,
Good.
yeah, sorry, just got home from the shop, but yeah, no, good show, man. Good show, and thank you
Thanks.
for everything you do, man.
Hey, no problem. Thanks. And we all do. Everybody does.
Oh,
Everybody struggles. Anybody who tells you they don't. You find me somebody who says they never struggle, and I'll find you a liar. We all do. We all, you know, good days, bad days. Hopefully,
yeah.
more good days than bad days, but we all have them.
The thing I find refreshing is people who are open and honest about their struggles, and they don't hide behind the mask. You know what I'm saying?
It's it's easy to hide behind the mask. It's
Everybody does.
it's a lot more freeing not to, but it's easy
Exactly.
to hide behind it.
Exactly. When you have
So
nothing to hide and you're yourself, it's
yeah,
pretty freeing, man.
but we all have it.
We do. We do. But yeah, no, sorry to be a Debbie Downer here, dude. It's a good
Yeah.
show. But yeah, man. No, thank you so much for everything you do.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Thank you on a personal note for the encouragement when times are shit. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
And so does my wife and son.
Excellent. Well, it's it's not hard to do when you're a good man. It's
Yeah, you try, right?
absolutely. It's all we
We
can do
all,
is try.
we all have our
We're all
demons.
human. We all have our demons. We all struggle. We all make mistakes. But it, in all reality, if everything was a win every single day, would it be any fun?
Fuck no.
And the other thing is, we wouldn't appreciate the wins if we didn't have the losses, right?
That's exactly it, man. That's exactly it.
So sometimes you have to embrace them and, you know, embrace the loss, accept it, and move forward. Just because you have one doesn't mean you need to quit, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just be grateful for the valleys.
Yeah,
You know, like that business call we had the other day with the guys. Just it was nice hearing that there are guys that struggle. Not that you want them to struggle, but knowing that you're not
absolutely.
alone, that you're not
Well,
a
I
fuck
live
up.
near the mountains. You got to appreciate the valleys because, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Absolutely, brother.
So, like I said, I live near the mountains here now, so you have to appreciate the valleys and the mountains, because if you don't, it's like where I grew up in Saskatchewan. It's flat and it's boring as shit.
You can drive for hours.
So the ups and downs are much prettier
Oh man.
from a landscape perspective. I can tell you the difference.
Oh, no. Winnipeg is the most boring drive I've ever been on.
I can tell you that to drive from Saskatchewan, Manitoba, doesn't matter where, all the way down through North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, pretty much down into Oklahoma. I swear, if you had a big enough marble and could roll hard enough, the son of a bitch would go the whole way.
Likely,
It's that entire center section down the continent is like that.
uh, at least you're in God's country, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And that's the thing, is enjoying the little things in life. Like, like you sometimes, personally speaking, I lose perspective sometimes of, you think like, oh, everything's going to shit. Not that it is, but you get that sensation, and then I look out my window here, and it's like, man, I live in a beautiful area, and it's like peaceful. Um, the little things in life you have to appreciate, and you kind of lose sight of that a lot. At least I do. And just keep going, man. Keep plugging away.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, it could always be worse, right? Hey, how bad is it? Why do we think about quitting? Hey, we could be in Ukraine or some,
exactly.
in one of the really, really rough countries in Africa or something like that. Like, reality, we've got nothing to complain about. We've got no reason to quit. If they don't quit over there, what the hell are we quitting for?
You nailed it, man. You nailed it right there. We've got three square meals, a roof over our head, and people around us, right? That's all we need.
Exactly.
On that note, brother, I hope you enjoy the rest of your show.
You bet, man. Thank you much. Have a good night.
You too, bud. Thank you.
All right. Well, that's a good point. Well, like you say, I could be in the middle of nowhere and like, imagine that. What have you got to quit for? You could be in one of those starving countries in Africa, Ethiopia, or something like that. Those people don't quit. They keep going. So we don't have a whole lot to complain about over here. We got it a lot better than we think we do. So anyhow, that's what I've got for tonight. Going to continue the chat over on my channel there on the after show chat on the Zoom. So if you're one of the members, come on over and we'll continue that on. If you're not, like I say, join my channel membership and you can come over there and we can talk about the things in private that we can't talk about here on YouTube because they won't allow us to without kicking us off. So it's a little more fun over there. And appreciate anybody that does and joins us. Join my community, my Facebook. We're working on something new. So we've got some interesting things developing over there that are going to start coming real soon. Going to a friend of mine is coming back to Canada. He's been over in Europe for a few months and he's helping set some stuff up. And we've got some very new and exciting, interesting things I'm going to be sharing with everybody over there. So hopefully you're involved in that. And we'll carry on, and we're not going to quit. Come back again next week. Don't know what next week's subject's going to be yet. We'll figure that out as we go. Be a better week next week than this week. That's all we're going to keep going. That's all we have to do. Not going to achieve success if we quit, right? So I achieved more than I ever thought I could before in the past. Why am I not going to continue to do the same? Anytime I put my mind to it, I've always managed to accomplish it. So my mind is to it. We're going to accomplish it. It's going to be work, but we're going to get there. So hopefully you have yourself a great day, because I am. We'll catch you later on the next one.